Hello everyone, welcome back to Kiran's English Hub. So we are continuing with the summaries of 8th class English, and in this video we are going to deal with Unit 3, Reading A, the Selfish Gaint, Part 1. Okay, so Reading B is the Selfish Gaint again, that is Part 2. So Reading B is just simply continuation of Reading 1. Okay, so need not to worry. So together there is that is one lesson. So it is separated, it is made into two parts since it is very much lengthy. Okay, and do you see this thing in the bracket? One act play. So what do you mean by one act play? Okay, so I will tell you before starting the lesson what is the meaning of one act play and all. Yeah, so before getting into the text, let us simply go through these pages before. Yeah, so the theme of this lesson is what? Humanity. You can see it on the right side in a green letters. Yeah, so you can see the picture before here on the screen. So that is Mother Teresa. Okay, so showing some humanity on a child. Next, humanity. So look at the picture given below and answer the questions that follow. Just look at the picture here. So one girl is there. This man is somewhere on the road something. So this girl is giving food to that man. Okay, giving some food to that man. So she is also showing humanity. Okay, let's see. So what do you notice in this picture? So we notice that there is a girl, small girl. There is also a man. He is homeless and hungry. So this girl is helping the homeless man. Next, what would be the feelings of the man in the picture? Okay, so you can just simply speak about the feelings of this man when he is receiving the food. Okay, so he might be thankful, or he would have felt to bless that little girl. Okay, or else he would have thought of eating that food first because he might be hungry. Okay, so there might be different feelings. Next, third one, have you ever seen such incidents? Of course, we might have seen. Okay, so what's your opinion on them? Okay, so if you have seen those type of incidents, okay, when one person is helping other person like this, so what did you feel at that moment? Okay, you can just give your opinion on those scenes. Okay, next we have oral discourse here. Narrate an incident you have witnessed where people helped others. So you have to narrate an incident. Okay, so which you have witnessed in the sense seen. For example, if you are going on a road, okay, so you have seen somebody helping some other person, so you have to narrate that incident. Okay, so you have witnessed in the sense you have seen that. So describe in your own words what you have seen and how was the situation there. You can also explain about the feelings of those people. Next, yeah, so here we go. So first, before getting into the text, so I would suggest you all to keep all your attention here, because this lesson is not that much easy to understand. Okay, so both part 1 and part 2, they both are that much not easy to understand. First thing is, there are some reasons. Okay, so first reason is, this is one act play. So I had shown you, right? So one act play. So what do you mean by one act play? Okay, so play is different. Okay, there is also play. Okay, so what do you mean by play? So in play, it is just like drama. Okay, so there are different characters. Okay, there are multiple characters, or 2 3 4 5 6 characters, 10 characters. Everybody plays their own role. They have their own dialogues, they have their own costume. Okay, everything is different. But when you come to one act play, in one act play, multiple characters are played by only one person. Okay, imagine that you are, okay, just like a person who is very much old. Okay, so now you will express your feelings. Okay, present feelings also. You will only speak about the feelings that you had in your childhood, both. Okay, so just like Venumada, plays Remo and this Aparajita do both roles at a time. Okay, you can also just simply take okay Aparajita movie where he plays different roles, but he plays only he is a one man, but he acts in a different characters. Okay, so just like one act play. Yeah. Okay, so the selfish giant part one. So old giant and the giant refers to the same character. So first, the viewers must understand that in this lesson, the dialogues of the old giant and the giant are different. Okay, so first, old giant and the giant. So there are two characters in this, but both are related to one same single person. So the giant is a selfish character, whereas old giant is a changed and kind character. Just like the giant is a old man. Okay, so the giant is a no, you can the giant is a selfish character. Okay, so when he was very young, okay, so imagine that he is speaking to us at the age of 60. So that whenever he refers the giant, okay, that dialogue is of when he is youth. Okay, so like when he was 25, 30, like that. So at that time he was very much selfish and all. Okay, so the giant was very selfish. Okay, so he was a young one. Okay, so next he has become old now he is very much old. So old giant is a changed and kind character. Okay, so whenever you refer to the young giant, so the giant, that means he was young and he was also selfish. And when you mention when you see old giant, so that refers to a giant who has become aged or old and a changed and kind character. Okay. Yeah, so an old giant addresses the audience directly here. Okay, so this aged, okay, tata. Okay, so this aged giant, old giant addresses the audience directly, in the sense he speaks to us directly in this lesson. Old giant speaks to us directly because he is present. The giant was old. Okay, just like past, expressing his past. Okay, so the action plays out behind him as he describes it. Okay, so he starts to describe what happened when he was young and all. Okay, so the old giant starts to describe that these actions happened, these things had happened when I was young and all. So when he speaks to us directly, these dialogues happen on the other side, these actions happen on the other side. So this lesson is completely an imaginative. Okay, you should completely imagine. Okay, your senses must be very much connected to the imagination here, so that you will understand very much carefully. And also I'm telling you before only that you will not be able to understand this lesson if you just simply read one time or two times. Okay, I'm also telling you that I too did not understand in one time or two times. I think I had read nearly four or five times. Okay, so when I was going for teaching practice. So okay, students or aspirants must read or must watch this video at least 3 or 4 times, so that you will understand much better. Okay, so old giant. I once owned a large, lovely garden with soft green grass. Here and there over the grass stood beautiful flowers like stars, and there were tall peach trees that in the springtime broke out into delicate blossoms of pink and pearl, and in the autumn bore rich fruit. So the birds sat on the trees and sang so sweetly that the children used to stop their games in order to listen to them. Okay, so the old giant started to speak to us directly here. So what is he saying? He is saying that, so once upon a time, okay, so when he was very much young, okay, when he was a young person, so giant in the sense you don't go for different negative characters here. Giant is a person who is just like looks like dangerous person who is with large body and all. Okay, so big one. So he's telling that he had a beautiful garden which was with full of flowers, beautiful flowers. Okay, so there were also peach trees. Okay, many plants were there, peach trees. They used to give tasty fruits and all. And also there were many number of birds in that garden, okay, which used to sing very much beautifully. And all the children also were there in the garden, so the children used to stop their games just to listen to the songs of those sweet birds. Okay, so the atmosphere is very much good when he was young. Okay, the garden atmosphere. Let us see what happened. So every afternoon, as they were coming from school, the children used to go and play in my garden. My is in bold letters. Why is it in bold letters? There is a reason. He's stressing on that. Okay, the writer wants to tell us to stress on that. Stress in the sense, not when we speak, but when we describe it. Okay, my garden. So when we say something that it belongs to me, okay, this is my pen, so you really mean it that it is your pen. Okay, so but one day I came back. So every afternoon when these children come back from school or evening like that, so these children used to go and play in his garden, in James garden. Okay, all the children of that area. So I had been to visit my friend, the Cornish. Oh, so one day he has come back. Okay, one day he has come back. Okay, but where did he go? He went to visit his friend Cornish Oak and had stayed with him for 7 years. Okay, so he was there to stay with his friend for 7 years. Okay, after the 7 years were over, I had said all that I had to say, and I determined to return to my own castle. The castle is nothing but like a big house, okay, just like the houses that kings had in those days, okay, like huge walls, large walls, big house like that. So when I arrived, I saw children playing in my garden, again stressing my garden. Okay, so he went to visit his friend for 7 years. So after 7 years, he determined in the sense, what do you mean by determined? Okay, determined in the sense having a strong passion towards something. So he completely had a strong desire to come back, because his friend was not allowing the gene to come back to his home. Okay, so finally decided to come back. And there he saw something. When he came to his house, he saw that the children were playing in his garden. But what happened there? Okay, so that fellow didn't like, the giant didn't like the children to play in his garden. So see here, the character is changing. So till here, old giant spoke to us directly. Now the giant direct dialogues, what he said in those days, those dialogues will be seen here. Okay, so the giant, in the sense the young giant. So what are you doing here? Okay, he shouted. So the children ran away. As soon as he said, what are you doing here, the children ran away. The giant, my own garden is my own garden, and anyone can understand that. And I will allow nobody to play in it but myself. Okay, so he came there and he saw the children playing, and he shouted that. What did he shout? What are you doing here? Okay, so this is my garden, no one should come in. I will not allow anybody. Nobody should play in my garden, but only I should play. Okay, so the old giant points out the younger giant working on a wall, putting up a sign, and then listening at the wall. Okay, so here the old giant is showing the actions that are going on. Okay, on the stage. Okay, usually one night plays on the stage, right? So what happened there? So the giant started to make a board. So what was the board? So I built a high wall all around all round, and put up a notice board. And what was the notice board? What was the board? Trespassers will be prosecuted. I think we all have seen these type of cautions, right? Trespassers will be prosecuted. So I heard the children whispering outside the wall, over the wall, on their way to school. So and the next day it might be the children were passing beside the house of the giant. So by the time the giant had started to build the wall and all, so the children were speaking to themselves. Okay, so the giant had heard something. Okay, let us see what was that. So you can just see here the picture when he shouted, the children scattered away and all. Okay, yeah. So the tall boy, now we have nowhere to play. Short boy, we can play on the road. Square girl, but the road is very dusty. Graceful girl, and full of hard stones. Round boy, I don't like it. Graceful girl, let's walk around the wall when our lessons are over. At least we can talk about the beautiful garden inside. Tall girl, how happy we were there. Round boy, he's very selfish Gaint. Okay, so the children started to speak like this, and everything was heard by the Gaint. Okay, so the children started to speak. Oh God, see, this fellow has come. The Gaint has come. Now we don't have place to, play. And if we play on, somebody is telling we shall play on the road. Another fellow is telling no, we cannot play on the road because it is full of dust, stones, and all. So graceful girl finally said, at least we can try to go inside, and we can at least talk about the garden. Okay, so tall girl is finally telling we were very happy inside the garden, and this giant has come, and he had made everything so, so restricted. Okay, so the round boy is telling he is very selfish giant. So that's what the title is, selfish giant. Why is he selfish? Why is he selfish? Because he doesn't share his happiness with anyone. Okay, so he doesn't share his garden with anyone, especially the children. So the giant opens the door in the wall and shouts at the children. So when these children were speaking all this, when they were, going to school, and when they were standing just beside the wall, giant heard that, and he shouted. Okay, he shouted at the children to go to school and all. Okay, so let us see what he has shouted. The giant, ah, my own garden is my own garden, and anyone can understand that, and I will allow nobody to play in it but myself. Okay, so when he heard all that, again he started saying, this is my garden, I will not allow anybody, I will play in my garden. So the children again scatter. Okay, scatter in the sense, just running in different directions. Okay, I think you can see in the picture here. Okay, so this is called as scattering. Okay, one boy is going here, one girl is going here. Okay, running everywhere. Okay, yeah. So old giant, then the spring came, and all over the country there were little blossoms and little birds. Only in my garden it was still winter, so the birds did not come to sing, and the trees forgot to blossom. The people who were pleased best were the snow and the forest. Okay, so okay, fine, everything was okay, going chill. So the spring season has come finally. Okay, okay, the spring season has come. Okay, after the winter spring comes. Okay, so everywhere in the country, everything everywhere it is spring. Okay, so all the flowers, green trees, new leaves, birds. Okay, everything was colorful all around the country, but something is wrong with the garden of giant. What is that? In his garden it is still winter. Okay, the the snow is just like that, the frost is just like that. Okay, everything is like in white color. Okay, I cannot even see leaves, no greenness, no flowers, no birds. Okay, nothing. Okay, so the only people who were happy there were snow and frost. Okay, snow and frost also have given characters and dialogue here. Okay, so snow and frost, spring has forgotten this garden, so now we can live here all the year round. Okay, so they are speaking like, see, the spring has forgotten us. Okay, forgotten this garden. Okay, so here we can stay as much long as we want like that. Okay, so old giant, so the snow covered up the grass with her great white cloak. Cloak in the sense. Okay, so just like a cloth that usually kings have on their shoulder, from the back shoulder. Okay, so they have a long cloth. Okay, just that is called as clock actually. Some they even call it with different names, but it is just like a long cloth, but it is not supposed to be worn directly to the body, but it is just simply hung to the shoulders, two edges of the shoulders. Okay, but it doesn't have sleeves and all. Oh, fine. So everything everywhere in his garden, it is completely just like a white cloth. Okay, why the snow and frost are usually in the white color. Okay, so and the frost painted all the tree silver. So when there is completely snow, so when you look from the far, snow usually looks like a silver color. Next, then they invited the north wind to stay with them. When he came, he has wrapped in heavy furs. So he wrote all day about the garden and rejoiced in blowing the chimney pots over. Okay, so these two, Snow and Frost, they have invited North Wind. Okay, what is the specialty of the North Wind? So in Western countries, the North Wind is very much cool. Okay, so even the North Wind came, and North Wind is just blowing everywhere in that garden, and it is even blowing the chimney pots. Okay, chimney pots in the sense, usually the you know uh, they are used to just blow out the smoke from the kitchen. Okay, just like they are uh, constructed with long pipes. Okay, so it is in the kitchen usually. So the smoke that is usually produced in the kitchen goes out through that chimney pipe, and finally the in the edge of that there is one small pot. It is just like pot, so that is called a chimney pot. So yeah, north wind, it is a delightful spot. Okay, delightful in the sense very happy, entertaining. Okay, a delightful spot. You must ask the hail to come on a visit. Okay, hail. Okay, what do you mean by hail here? Again, it is also just like wind, and everywhere it blows everywhere just like that. Next, old giant. So the old hail came every day. For 3 hours he rattled on the roof of the castle till he broke most of the slates, and then he ran round and round in the garden as fast as he could go. So he was dressed in grey, and his breath was like ice. I sat at the window and looked out at my cold white garden. Okay, so finally the hail also has come. So hail is little bit cold, more cold. Okay, so when hail comes, it is completely cold everywhere. It is just like freezing, and along with that cold, it is completely just like storm. Okay, wind. There is huge wind. So just imagine very much cool and wind together if they come. So we will be freeze like a ice. So everywhere the slates of the castle, also castle in the sense the big huge building. Okay, the slates in the sense, in olden days slates were used on the roof. Okay, to cover the roof. Okay, not the concrete. So that slates were even breaking and all, so everything was like this. So they still, till then there is no spring. Okay, so these characters which are actually related to winter season, so they are enjoying the winter season still in the garden of old giant. Okay, so the giant, I cannot understand why the spring is so late in coming. I hope there will be a change in the weather. So now, so he started thinking why there is no spring season in my garden. So I think there is some time still for the spring season to come. The old giant, but the spring never came, nor the summer. Okay, even summer also did not come, nor the spring. Next, the autumn gave golden fruit to every garden, but to my garden he gave none. Even the autumn season also has come. Okay, so in the autumn season, what happens? It is ripening season. Okay, ripening, in that season we get fruits and all. Okay, so in all the gardens of the country and his neighbors, there were fruits and everything was so good. But in his garden, it is none. Why? Still there is winter. So autumn. He is too selfish, old gent. So it was always winter here. and the north wind and the hail and the frost and the snow danced about through the trees. Okay, so autumn. Now when old giant said that, when I was young, I thought of having this season fruits and all. So here autumn is thinking that giant is too selfish. Next, so old giant is telling that, so there was no this one spring season, and all these hail, frost, snow, north wind, so they all started to enjoy in my garden and all. So let us see what happened next here. So that part will be discussed in part 2, selfish giant, the selfish giant part 2. So that I will be doing in the next video. So we have some glossary here. Peach trees, trees bearing round fruit with soft red and yellow skin. Okay, peach. Okay, so they are just like gauze, big gauze. Next, springtime, so the season between winter and summer when plants begin to grow. Next, delicate blossoms, non-phrase, tender flowers. Okay, delicate in sense, so tender. Okay. Next, castle, large strong building with strong and thick walls. Trespassers, persons who go into land without permission. Whispering, speaking quietly. Scatter, disappear or spread over. Cloak, a type of coat that has no sleeves. Next, wrapped, covered or dressed. Rejoiced, expressed great happiness. Chimney pot, a short wide pipe placed on top of a chimney. Delightful, very pleasant or charming. So that's it for this video. So in our next video we shall deal with the selfish giant part 2. Okay, the continuation of part 1. So till here in part 1 we had seen that the giant has come back from his friend's house. The children were playing in his garden. Okay, in a shortcut I'm telling. So when he came, he has shouted at them, and finally he heard what they were speaking, and he also built a huge wall around his uh, garden and all. So when the children went out of the garden, and the season spring was supposed to be okay in his garden also, but there was no spring season. So everywhere the north wind and the hail, they were completely covered his garden with snow and all. So let us see in the next part 2 video what happens after that. Okay, so until then, take care, god bless you.